under fractions, equivalent or equal fractions. If you have a fraction, let's say 5/6, and the reason why people hate fractions is that they're a little on the confusing side, because if I have the fraction 5/6, there are endless other fractions that mean the same thing as 5/6. For example, Lutz, what's another fraction that would be the same as 5/6? Okay, well, let's move on with that thing. Making equal fractions is based on this one simple premise, that if you multiply anything by 1, let's say I multiply 8 by 1, I get 8. If I multiply 20 by times 1, I get 20. So if I multiply 5/6 by 1, I'm going to get 5/6. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the deal with this, and why I tell you that, is there are an infinite amount of fractions that mean the same thing as 1, correct? For example, 2/2. The fraction 2/2 is the same thing as 1, correct? So if I multiply 5/6 by 2/2, which is the same as 1, I'm going to get a fraction that's the same as 5/6. So when I do that, if I take 5 times 2, I end up with 10. If I take 6 times 2, I end up with 12. 10/12ths, because it's just 5/6 multiplied by 1, is the same thing as 5/6. And I could do that with anything that equals 1. I could do that with 15/15. 5 times 15 is 75. 6 times 15 is 80. 90. Who said 80? Who said 80?
Who said 80?
75/90 is the same exact thing as 5/6. Okay, so the rule is you can make any equal fraction with something as long as you multiply the top and the bottom by the same number. If I have 3/4, what's an equal fraction to 3/4? Just about anything. But sometimes they'll give you a number down here. Let's say they give me 20. How do I know what number goes up there? Grace?
So you think of how many times those 4 numbers come.
Right. You think about what you multiply 4 by to get 20, and you have to do the same thing with the top number. 3 times 5 is 15. And again, the reason for that is because I just multiplied 3/4 by what? 5/5, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1. This fraction is that same thing. And that's one of the reasons why fractions people don't like, is because there's so many of them that mean the same thing, it doesn't matter. And it's usually, when we're given a fraction, we always use this thing here that is the smallest one that stands for it. Because that's just what we do. It's much easier to think of 5/6 than it is 75/90ths. If I asked you to give me 75/90ths of a pizza, you'd probably spend a lot of time figuring out how to cut it into 90 pieces. If I said give me 5/6 of a pizza, now you can cut the pizza easily into 6 pieces and give me 5 of them. This is why this is called reduced to lowest terms. Reduced to lowest terms. And you've done that last year, so. What will they ask you? They might ask you to do this. Well, yeah, they will say do this. Write 7/8 with a denominator of 56. How do you suppose I go about doing that? Kelsey wants to say.
See how many times 8 goes into 56?
Well, I would start by doing this. I would say, okay, I'm starting with the fraction 7/8. I want to make an equal fraction to it that has a bottom of 56. That's how I write it down. And then do what Kelsey said, which was, how many times does A go into 56? 7. So 7 times 7 is 49. So the fraction that they're looking for is 49/56. Or what if they ask you to compare fractions like 3/5 compared to 3/4? How do I compare fractions 3/5 and 3/4? By the way, if you say draw pictures, please, no. You're in 7th grade now. That's 5th grade stuff. No more will we draw pictures to compare fractions. You'll draw pictures for other things, but not to compare fractions. Because that's way too based on you being able to draw two perfect squares and cut them into perfect pieces. Gary Ronning.
You times them against each other, so it's 20, and you times them until they have the same denominator, so that you could see.
Alright, the best way is to make common denominators of them. In other words, 5 and 4, what's the smallest number goes into both of those? 20, right? So 3/5 is how many 20ths? 5 times 4, 3 times 4. Alright, 3/5 is 12 20ths, 3/4 is how many 20ths? 4 times 5, 3 times 5 is 15 20ths. Which one is bigger? This one. Now, have I ever talked to you about the quick version of this? Huh? Doing the same thing in super speed would be to do this. If you just take the bottom number and multiply it by the opposite diagonal, you get 15. If you take the bottom number here, multiply it by its opposite diagonal, you get 12, the same thing we got there. And this 15 is bigger than that, but it's got to go from bottom to top. Another example, what if I said 7/8 compared to 4/5? 5 times 7 is 35. 8 times 4 is 32. Which one's bigger? 7/8. You can always change them to this if you need to, common denominators. But this is kind of just the short and quick condensed version. What about this one? What's bigger? 13/15 or 9/10? I'll let you tell me. What's bigger, 13/15 or 9/10? 13/15 or 9/10?
And you have to prove your answer.
Jacob,
9/10 is bigger.
because,
I did it.
and what do you get? 15 times 9 is
135.
135, and 10 times 13 is 130, so you get 135 would be bigger. Very happy?